Hey, Life Group leaders, hope you're doing really well. Excited to tell you that we're rolling out our discussion guides for the series that's going to begin October 13th on relationships, dating, marriage, sex. A lot of preparation has gone into this series. Really excited about your discussions that are going to happen in your life groups. It's been a long time coming. So really excited to see what God's going to do in it all. Couple housekeeping things to make you aware of. First of all, this discussion guide is based on 4 principal texts. First, the Bible. Secondly, The Sacred Search by Gary Thomas. Third, The Meaning of Marriage by Tim Keller. And finally, This Momentary Marriage by John Piper. Now, your groups don't need, nobody needs to purchase any of these books to engage in the discussion. If they don't have a Bible, let us know. Be happy to give you one that you can give to them. That's all. That'd be awesome. But they don't need to buy any of the 3 books to engage in the discussion. Any text we pull from the books will be provided in your discussion guide in block text that you can read, and people can then be prompted for the questions. Really want to encourage you, though, with a couple things in preparation for this discussion. First of all, do your best to keep the discussion series to around 4 weeks. There'll be 4 guides, and if you need to spill over into a 5th or 6th week, that's totally fine. Go at the pace your group needs to go, because these are really needed, relevant discussions that have an immediate impact in your life groups. And so that's fine. Go at the pace you need to go, but you don't need to go for 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks. This is part of a larger strategy, a comprehensive strategy to really equip people in our church to walk out in God's truth when it comes to this area and these areas of their lives. After we finish this series, we're going to begin announcing a conference that's going to happen next March at First Baptist, bringing in the author of The Sacred Search, Gary Thomas, in a concert with Andrew Peterson. So after this discussion series is over, if you want to encourage people to then, hey, buy the book, The Sacred Search, and begin engaging in that content to prepare for really engaging in the content when we have the conference next spring. There's going to be multiple opportunities over the next 6 to 8 months for people to be equipped in this. And so we don't need to do it all right here in this fall. Let this be a great starting conversation, encouraging conversation, and equipping conversation for your life groups. Okay, a couple more things. Also, there's something called a Be Intentional moment at the beginning of each discussion guide. That's where we're asking your life group to define what does it mean to be intentional in this situation. So like for the first one, it's define being intentional in friendships with persons of the opposite sex. So you just, as a life group, come up with a working definition that as a group you agree on. This is what that means. And then so forth and so on throughout the series. Also, I really believe that these discussions about these issues are needed and would be most fruitful in people's lives if they happen in the context of true, authentic, biblical community. And that's what's so amazing about what God has been doing at First Baptist and largely through the life groups, is that has been growing. And so keep that at the forefront for your life group, that at the end of the day, you care as a group most that each individual is growing in a dynamic relationship with Jesus, that they're discerning His will for their lives and His gifts in their lives, and they're putting those gifts into practice in the life of the church, because that's the environment where people are going to have the most edifying conversations about these topics. Also, truth. We live in a culture that views these issues dramatically differently than the Bible does. And so we want to help each other in the context of these discussions discern and discover God's Word and God's truth for them in these issues and in these areas. And so speak the truth in love, and speak the truth boldly, but speak the truth as we have these discussions. Finally, grace. You may be very surprised to discover some of the stories and experiences and histories that people are bringing in to these discussions. People that you knew very well and had no idea that that's something that they went through or dealing with. Or maybe God brings some new people into your group because of these discussions and they need to be exposed to them. So remember that grace is is all sufficient and needs to cover your life group. That our God is a God who forgives, our God is a God who redeems, and our God is a God who sets us free. There are people that may be dealing with some serious bondage from past relationships and decisions they've made, maybe addictions to pornography, and they're looking for freedom. And that's God's grace that He sets us free. So keep that as an overall covering for your life group as you're leading these discussions. Finally, the blog. I said a lot of preparation's gone into this. There are a lot of people writing about these different issues. The blog is going to be very active around these topics. If you have a great discussion in your life group and a great thing is shared, and you're like, I want to share this with the larger community, send it to me in an email, a couple sentences, a couple paragraphs, and I'll throw it up on the blog. We want to have a real-time discussion in our life groups, individually and also collectively as a ministry. So please encourage people to be engaging the blog as we go. So that's what's going on. Really excited about it. Very much in expectation for God to do great work in you through your leadership of your life group and in the lives of people that you get to minister to in your life group. So praying for you. Have a great rest of your week.